morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This is Dr. Sarah Renee Langley, your Limitless Liberator. And I'm here just to celebrate you, but also to see how I can best support you in regards to helping you to learn, love, and lead powerfully and boldly and successfully without limits. Your terms, your way. All right, so what's interesting is, I'm just going to say it. I was talking for the past 10 minutes, and I love when I just start because I just go in my flow. And so, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to reiterate everything I said earlier. I'm going to bring it back to remembrance of what I said because I felt that it was powerful. But before I do, just wanted to check in with you, see how you're doing today. And what I would love for you to do is put in the comment section. Put a one in the comment section to let me know if you're having a great day. Put a two in the comment section if you're having a so-so day. And it's no shame. We all have those so-so days. The point is, though, what are you going to do to move that two to a one tomorrow? No pressure. Just let us know. Put it in the comment section. So I wanted to come on because I love talking. I love camera. I love video. And it's been a minute. So I wanted this to show up and show up strong, but also to make sure that I finish strong with you. We are at times getting so inundated with every single thing that's going on in this world, that's going on in, shoot, our own lives. And oftentimes we can get caught up in the weeds. You may have heard this before. We get caught up in the weeds and we just don't know how to get untangled. We get into these entanglements, get all tied up. And I'm like, you know what? It's really, honestly, because we're starting fresh, why not then make sure that you don't get caught up in doing the things that you've done before that didn't get you to where you wanted to go? Although I will plant this seed right now because I love planting seeds, that it may not germinate today, and that's fine because a lot of times we think that in planting seeds that we're going to see the harvest right then and right now, and that's not the case. Planting seeds so that when the time comes and when the time is right and when you're ready for it, you will come to realizations. And so what I was going to say was, while we get caught up in things and we don't get to our goal, our end goal like we wanted to, just know that everything that happens plays part towards your goal. Things that you have prayed for years before you didn't realize, because I think a lot of times we frame our lives based on every year. We'd be like, okay, new year, new us. We hear the word from the church, you're going to stretch this year. You're going to be successful. You're going to be prosperous. You're going to be powerful. You're going to be all these things. And I think that we magically think it's going to just happen without life happening and helping us to make that happen. I don't, my heart for you is that you don't get caught up this year doing the same thing, expecting different results. The goal now is to now think differently, move differently, be differently, and that you will see your different results. Don't let it just be now by habit that you're saying every year, this is my year, this is my year. And you don't really believe it. You just now just being a parrot about it. You're just saying it because it sounds good or because it's just habitual for you to say that. Why not let this year be actually your year? And do not compare it to past years or to other people's years. I'm already dropping some great gems right now. I don't want you to get caught up in the weeds and getting caught up in like eye level of what's going on as to why challenges are happening, why life is happening to you, without you realizing that maybe perhaps a prayer that you had put out there in the atmosphere, something that you had desired for years, know that life happens, challenges happen. There will be problems. There will be challenges that will come. But the thing is, it's not for you to pay attention to it, meaning it's not for you to keep your eyes glued on the problem. Your eyes are to be kept on the goal and know that the problems are shaped and designed in a way to help you towards your goal. If you start reframing your mindset to look at it that way, it will be a whole lot easier. It will still be challenging. Doesn't mean that you're going to be all happy and joyful about it when challenges happen, but it will help you to now conserve your energy and to keep it moving. And when you come out on the other side, you'll be so, so happy and proud of yourself that you were able to make it through less scathed, less bothered, less troubled, less traumatized. Yeah. So I thank you for tuning in. I swear, it's like there's no other place I would rather be right now. I just wanted to really impart and to show up, because one of my words that I said in one of my posts, I said, you know what, 2024 and beyond for me is it's about visibility. For me, I know how to show up in a certain way to make it seem like I am showing up. But it's another, I control it. It's another where, and I'm just being transparent in hopes that the way that I am starting and leading off will rub off on you. You can take in the meat and spit out the bones. What works for you, take, and what doesn't, you can discard. I think a lot of times we got so caught up in controlling situations, circumstances, because of various reasons, because of whether our past, because our childhood, our upbringing, because of what we witnessed, what we concluded, what we've seen, how other people, these other objects, parental objects that have been in our lives, we mimic off of them, what we've seen and what we didn't see, so then we can know how to survive. But I swear, can you not just survive yet another year? Can you please put the word in your mind, thrive? Heck, put the word strive in your mind, as opposed to just thinking survival. Whoo, I made it out this year again. Whoo, I made it out this year. Why does it have to be that type of thinking? As opposed to your life being rich and abundant and juicy and satisfying and expansive and just being content. Please do not let this year be about you trying to survive only and solely. You already know how to do that. I really want you to expand yourself, stretch yourself to see what is beyond what you thought, what you have put yourself in, and what you are trying to control and navigate for the sake of not losing people, people pleasing. One of my dear friends, I'm going to shout you out, Tawanda Livingston. She was talking about the disease to please. Let this not be about any of that this year. Really focus on your goal and not let it just be a goal because this is what we do the first of the month or the first month of the year. Please, for the love of the Lord, put put quality, like put something to your goal. And what I mean by that is let it just not be a goal. Let it just not be something that you do and say because this is what we all do on the first month of the year. Really, seriously, make your goal happen. And I would love to know, what is your goal? What is your goal that you plan to accomplish this year? Put it in the comment section. So thank you so much for showing up, Karan. I thank you. And you were saying how, yeah, Philly in the house. Yes, yes. My life has always been business and politics and helping others. I learned that watching you take care of your loved ones, talking about me because I've been a caregiver besides being a coach, counselor, and consultant. Another C of mine is caregiving. And my biggest problem is I see people for more than what they really are. I hear you about that one because that has been my life since I was 14 years old. I mean, my first job was a camp counselor and helping kids during the summer, and just really being an ear to them, but also seeing their potential, like seeing these little kids and their potential, and at the same time being in an environment that that wasn't able to really see their potential, that they were capped at 9 years old, and that didn't make any sense in my mind at 14. So I said, you know what, I need to do something with this because people come to me all day long, and I was just 14, but I was 9 years old when people would start coming to me with their problems, and I would listen to them, and I said, you know, it must be something about this, and I said that to myself at 9. Like, it's something about this that I'm going to take the world by storm and help see people's potential and their greatness. But here's the thing, Karan, the challenge is that, yeah, they may not be able to see their greatness. But maybe that is what you're called and led to do, and to help them map out how to get there. So listen, let's make some money off of that. Why not? Our gift is to make room for us. And I guess I'm just kind of tired of snuffing out what we all are called to do because of trying to please others or because of other people's opinions or our own opinions that we've concluded and keeps us capped. I really want you to take off the limits and tap into your limitless potential and go after your next. So, all that to say, um, I partner with you, or I touch and agree with you in terms of you, Karan, being a senator. So, yes, yes, yes. All I want you to do is hold that vision. If that is your goal, don't worry about the how. Focus on the why. Your why. Why do you want to be Senator Banks? Why? I want to be Senator Banks so that what? That is actually the key, or at least one of the key components for you accomplishing your goal. We get stuck on, well, how? I can't see it. I can't see. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have the other. That's another challenge and problem. Stop looking at what you think you don't have. I had put in a post a couple of days ago. I was like, you know what? Who wants to be an author? Who wants to be a speaker? Who wants to be um, a coach? And so someone had shared how they're an author, and I was like, hey, are you making money off of it? Listen, look, it's okay to make money. We all have to live, right? It's not always about okay. Let's. I said this earlier. We have a lot of pieces, but a lot of the pieces aren't fitting. The pieces aren't piecing. We take pieces and we try to make them fit, and that's not a natural order whatsoever. The pieces are created in such a way where they're supposed to fit. Think of those puzzles that we all played with, and think of the pegs that we had to try to fit into the certain holes that were in the table. And then we would try to take the circular peg and just let it drop into the square, and like, okay, but it got in there. No, it didn't. It did, but that wasn't right. It's about not trying to be the rebel either. There's times to be a rebel, but when it comes to the instance of natural order of things, it's not about taking that circular peg and trying to make it fit into a star or a square or octagon, but actually having the circular peg fit into the circular hole that it belongs to. It's not about making it fit. It just naturally will just connect. So I say that to say, when it comes to your life, when it comes to your goals, why are we trying to make this so hard? Why are we so focused on the how and trying to make it fit because we can't see them? Then we're thinking that we don't have certain things because we'll have what we say. We have what we think. There may be some things going on when I was talking to the person that is an author, and I'll say, hey, are you making money? Like, no, I need X, Y, and Z. I'm like, you know what? But there may be some things that you already have that you haven't tapped into. You're overlooking it because you're looking at what you think you don't have. I'd rather for you to shift your mindset, everyone, and focus on what you do have. What do you have in place so far? Instead of being futuristic and instead of looking at your past, presently, what is it that you are able to hold, what you're able to do, what you actually have right now? Take those steps. What's the rush? We can say, oh, well, time is short. Live like this is your last day. I think that I'm going to use this whole entire year to kind of clean up a lot of the cliches and the things that we say because we don't realize how extremely powerful our subconsciousness is and how we're speaking certain things to our mind that we operate like that. We tend to operate as if everything is scarce, like in scarcity and lack and limitation. So when I said earlier about, hey, let's not keep thinking about, okay, I survive, I'm surviving, let me survive this year, let me survive that year. It kind of takes away from the quality, the abundance of your life and what is right now. And it also takes away from you trusting yourself, which is another key component. So let me pause there for a second. Karan, you were saying that you want to be Senator Banks so that you can fight for the little guy. Sometimes you're calling for something bigger than yourself. People tend to forget you're a normal person. Also, it gets overwhelming at times when you're looked at a looked at like a larger than life figure. So I hear you loud and clear. And here is they talk about tweaks and hacks or something to that effect. Um, Start looking at yourself as not the person that's going to save or I'm not saying you have a God complex. That's not what I'm saying. But do not keep looking at yourself as you're the savior. You're the one that's going to do for these people. I understand that you being a senator, this is the atmosphere. This is the space that may call for that because yes, you'll have so much responsibility on yourself that comes with being a senator for the sake of quality of life for yourself. That is the difference. You don't have to look for senators who, well, you can look for senators who actually are able to handle and manage their personal lives and have quality of life without getting so overwhelmed and burnt out and overwhelmed as you were saying, as opposed to looking at senators who uh, are overwhelmed, who aren't juggling or managing their lives, their personal lives, and with their professional life. And I think for those who do that, who do not know how to juggle or manage because this is what they think it's supposed to be, oh, it's going to be met with problems and challenges. It's one thing to know that it will, but it's another to embrace and have a different mindset around it and looking at it so that it doesn't be as overwhelming, as frustrated, or you use the overwhelm to your advantage. Where you're like, you know what? Yes, it was overwhelming, but it wasn't as overwhelming. I still didn't go under. I still was able to be on top. And the way that you do that is either look at other senators who are balancing and managing their lives accordingly, that resonates for you, as opposed to looking at ones where it's it's bearing witness or aligning to the fact like, whoo, see, yeah, I knew it. It's going to be so overwhelming because that's all that it is with your mindset. It's how you're thinking about it. But instead of taking it as, okay, I'm the one that's going to, I got all these responsibilities. Everybody's going to be depending on me. A lot of times subconsciously we think that that's where our value and our worth lies and we don't realize it subconsciously. So I'm saying this to you now that this is not about you being a senator and so that um, I can show my worth and value and prove that I can make things happen and I can help save the community. Rather, you're that dope bomb senator because you're setting the example on quality of life, on accountability, of ownership, of empowerment, and gravitating and attracting those people who are interested in fishing for themselves and they just need that guidance and support as opposed to dependency on you to now you have to give your whole life to it, but then at the end of the day you have no life left for yourself. Let me know if that makes sense and what I said, because I was saying this earlier when I thought that I was on live. My brother and I used to always joke, shout out to you, Ty. We used to say the the rain in Spain lies mainly on the plain. So anything that comes like is over people's heads, or we say things that's so deep and profound, I can break it down further. But I'm just flowing right now. I just really want to make this a point to see how I can give you value on how to help you to accomplish your goal this year, and not it just be another goal that you're saying that you're going to accomplish, and then it's not accomplished because oh, you got 365 days, you got plenty of time, and then you blink and it's almost, look how time has been flying. We're in this year, and dang it. It's like I remember when this year was like years away. So let's just go ahead and be present and put more than just words behind what we say. Let's put action to it and not worry about the how, but let your why lead you. Karan, you were saying that you're a community guy at heart. You love doing normal stuff. I love my job. I just always put myself last. That's it. That's it. That's the issue right there. Why? Why are you putting yourself last? With the work that I do and the programs that I offer, so one of my programs is called Limitless Success Her Way. So I work with women leaders in the business and finance industry. But and my job is to help them to eliminate their imposter syndrome, and helping them to see like what it is about them, having them have the confidence and the clarity, and the courage to dare to be themselves and make themselves first and top priority instead of dead last. So as a woman, I can speak on that and how I felt like many women have decided to make themselves last because this is how we feel that we've been taught and trained and conditioned and programmed, um, to the point that now by the time that our breast sags, we're in rocking chairs. Now it's our turn. Heck no. The key to success and happiness is really honestly making yourself top priority. You have to understand, where is that mindset coming from. I usually would ask my clients, you know what, how's that working for you? How's that going for you in making yourself last? Because this is what you may have thought that that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, well, let me make everybody first so they feel like I really care about them, and I'll work on myself behind the scenes. I'll lick my wounds and I'll rejuvenate and decompress and I'll recharge myself. Nah. How's that going for you? How's that working for you? Why are we doing that? We're getting older. Listen, I have a birthday coming up at the time of this recording. I'm getting older. I'm not doing that anymore. You get to certain ages or certain decades and you're just like, okay, you know what, I'm doing less of people and more of me. And back in the day, we used to think that, oh, that's being selfish and conceited. Well, if that's what y'all want to call it, then that's what I'm going to be. That's what you call it. I call it self-preserving. This is not about being conceited. This is about self-preservation, so that at the end of the day, when everything is done, your cup is still full. This isn't about you now pouring your whole self out. And then the expectation is that in hopes that somebody else could pour into you. Like, oh, wow, Karan's really giving his whole life. Oh, my goodness, Sarah's giving her whole life. Let's go ahead. Because I used to think that way. I'll speak for me. I used to think that way. Okay, well, it's a give and take. This is what we've been taught. I think, like I said, I think all year I'm going to start to dispel a lot of these cliches that have been keeping us locked and limited and lost, and to unlock ourselves so that we can all really truly rise in our authentic authority and leadership, because that's what we're looking for now. So many people and so many times we all have pretended and faked till we make and never really made it. We're still faking it. When are we going to make it? Jesus, when will that time come? I'm talking to somebody on social media. They were talking about how one of the celebrities was saying how she wasn't getting paid her worth, pretty much. I'm paraphrasing it. And people, and then some people was like, okay, well, she need to stop taking peanuts. And people were like, well, no, she got a child. She has to live. She has to survive. They didn't use the word survive. But they say, she has to live. You just tell her just to quit her job. You telling her just to stop taking money. She has a child, a mouth to feed. And then someone was like, well, I think her child is like 30 at this point. Well, but he could be in college. Okay. He needs to also help with that, with himself, with his own responsibilities at this point. But the point is, I'm not here to tell people on how to run their households. But I am saying that, when is the day that we stop accepting peanuts? When is the day that we stop just surviving? Because truth be told, we already have it built in us to survive. I hope that you caught that. We already are built in a way to survive already. Because you can think back on times in your life, and you're like, I don't know how I got through some certain situations that you were in, that you didn't know. When you were in that situation, you didn't know how you was going to get out of it. You didn't know how you was going to make ends meet. You did not know how, but you did it. Please put in the comment section if I'm lying. There are times that you can account and you can recount where you thought that you weren't going to make it on certain instances of your life, but you did. So if you were able to do it before, you can do it again. So we don't have to focus on survival, honestly, anymore, any further. It's already built in you. You need to now start paying attention to how you've been surviving. Don't pay attention to or get your eyes on the problems and the challenges. Accept them and embrace them, because I'm going to, spoiler alert here, I'm going to tell you, you're going to have problems and challenges this year. You can rebuke that. You cannot receive that. Okay. But I think that if you were to embrace that a little bit more and better, it will make life a little bit easier. You'll be able to manage a little bit better and differently and have more of your quality of life intact, as opposed to making yourself dead last, expecting people to pour into you and to help you lick your wounds and to be sympathetic and empathetic, because that's another thing. Nah, People don't really seem to have time to be empathetic and sympathetic to you because they're trying to survive their own selves. But I think it's time for us to now flock around with like-minded individuals, and not just keep saying that, but to actually be around other people, whether we strive to be there, um, or iron sharpens iron, so that you can now be full and to pour into those that need you to help them to be pulled up, but along the way teach them how to pull themselves up, so that it's not a matter of you continuing this cycle of thinking that, okay, well, my worth and value is based upon what I do for people. You can do for people by teaching them on how to do for themselves. So then that will help you to not be last and not be burnt out, maxed out, and stressed out. So these are the key components to help you have a successful year, but also being successful and limitless in accomplishing your goals. One, be serious with your goal. No longer be a habit, or let it be habitual. Two, be present. Look at what you have right now. Stop thinking scarcity. Stop thinking lack and loss and limitations. You may not realize that, but if you're not achieving your goals, then there's something wrong in your along in your mindset. Whether I call them these unspoken rules that we have that governs us, our moves, our actions, our day to day. It's not our conscious minds at all, to be honest with you. It's the subconscious that we're not aware of because it's on autopilot. It's time for you to start getting acquainted with yourself and how you really are thinking about certain things. What are those unspoken rules that you're giving and you're projecting out there that's making the results become what you don't want? You change your mindset around it. So don't worry about the how. Be present with what you do have. And one leading factor to that in discovering or helping you to accomplish your goal is your why. Be led by your why. Don't worry about the how. The how is going to happen. It's already built into in you that you need to now discover what it is that you have that helps you to survive. When I was talking to the people on the social media platform, I was saying, you know what, it's time for us to not take peanuts. It's time for us to now strive and thrive. And if that means letting go, whoo, if that means letting go of what is familiar, what is comfortable, what is guaranteed, what is certain, for something that may be seemingly uncertain, but it's way more than what you have currently, or whatever that you desire is out there in the uncertainty, in the uncertain space. But at one point where you currently are, that became certain for you, it was once uncertain as well. But you navigated through. You got to figure out certain things. So give yourself more credit than you normally do. I don't want to say take that chance. I think in that crossroad between situation and action is decision. And that gap between is really where faith comes in. This doesn't have to do with the spirituality of it. It just has to be the belief, the knowing, even in uncertainty, that your heart is telling you something. You know that there's more out there. So let that feeling and that thought of, I know that there's something out there better for me. There's something that I'm supposed to do. And just go with it. That's how you get to start trusting yourself more. That's when you start to discover your subconsciousness more. That's when you start to discover what you currently have that will help you to get from point A to point B. But not surviving. This is not for you to try to figure out, how can I survive this year? Figure out how to thrive this year. So, one, I swear to you, get rid of those cliches. Be serious with your goal this year. One, be serious with your goal, not just let it be habitual. Two, look at what you currently have. Understand and know your why. Discover that. Three, be present. Be present. Be present. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the how. Be present with what is right now. Give yourself credit. Four, start connecting with other people who are like-minded or even thinking higher than you, so that now that can be your fuel and your driver to help you to now not make yourself dead last, but make yourself top priority. And I like to work with odd numbers, so I got to come up with a fifth one. I guess the fifth one would be talk to me. I mentioned earlier about my Limitless Success program, where I am helping women leaders, but I also am open to um, helping all genders, pretty much, helping people in being able to eliminate their imposter syndrome, to now map out what is the steps that they need to take confidently and boldly. So really successfully mapping out what is your step-by-step blueprint that's going to get you to your point A to point B. But at least you having that to map out, because I want to teach you, which is the third part, teaching you to fish for yourself. I'm working myself out of jobs. I've always thought that way. I never wanted my door to be a revolving door, but that I'm here where you have access to me as your mentor, as your guide, as your support system, and helping you to intelligently um, create strategies that's going to help you to successfully fulfill your goal. So this is not about playing anymore this year. This is about you getting your bank and your money, being successful, and also making sure that you make yourself top priority and stay that way. I want you to be able to enjoy your success and not pour your soul, your heart and soul out, and then you barely have any life left to even reap the benefits or to celebrate and to enjoy the fruits of your labor. I want you to stand tall and be intact when the fruits of your labor realizes for you. So let me know if I can be of assistance to you. I think that I may have put the link into the um, into here, but let me go ahead and drop it if you want to see how I can best support you. I'm going to drop the link here, and if you want to have further conversations, you can either click on the link, we can begin right away, or you can DM me as well if you have any further questions that I can best answer for you. So with that being said, thank you so much for your time today, and hey, be limitless. It is time for you to be limitless in your goals this year and successfully accomplish them. All right, you have a great one. Oh, and if you found value in this, tag, like, and share, because sharing is caring, and you never know, you may help someone else to become limitless in the process. So this is Dr. Sarah Renee Langley, your Limitless Liberator, helping you to live, love, and lead powerfully, boldly, and successfully without limits, your way, your terms. All right, take care.